For nearly 12,000 years, something impossible waited beneath Antarctica. Buried under miles of ancient ice, sealed inside stone older than recorded history, scientists uncovered a chamber no human hands could have built. At its center stood a smooth black device untouched by rust, pressure, or time. No seams. No controls. Only a ring of symbols pulsing faint blue light, as if it had been patiently waiting for someone to arrive. The discovery was hidden from the public at first. Global powers moved the object to a secured research site where the brightest minds on Earth were ordered to study it. Engineers failed to open it. Physicists failed to cut it. Military teams failed to move it without triggering strange energy surges. But one thing the machine did willingly was transmit. Every 12 hours, it sent a repeating burst of radio waves into deep space. The pattern was too precise to be natural. It carried structure, spacing, rhythm. This was language. Artificial intelligence systems were trained on the signal. Linguists compared it to every known mathematical framework. Week after week, fragments became meaning. It was not random sound. It was executable instruction. Some researchers warned that translating was one thing, repeating it was another. They argued no one sends a message for 12,000 years unless they need it heard. Others insisted humanity had reached a historic threshold. If the universe was speaking, Earth had no right to stay silent. Governments approved a controlled response. Deep space arrays were aligned. Energy grids were redirected. The decoded sequence was transmitted exactly as recovered, amplified beyond anything the original device could produce. Around the world, people watched the announcement expecting first contact, scientific glory, perhaps the greatest moment in human history. The signal left Earth. For 12 silent seconds, nothing changed. Then observatories began screaming alerts. Across distant star systems, thousands of cold objects powered on at once. Dark masses hidden in asteroid fields ignited engines. Structures drifting lifeless around dead suns unfolded like waking predators. Ancient fleets, dormant for ages beyond memory, came alive simultaneously. Every trajectory pointed toward one place: Earth. Panic spread faster than governments could contain it. Telescopes captured impossible formations accelerating through routes no human science understood. Military networks activated emergency protocols never meant to be used. Cities filled with fear before a single enemy ship had even arrived. Researchers rechecked the translation in horror. The message had never been a greeting. It had been an activation command. Whatever civilization built the machine did not ask for contact. It expected obedience. Humanity had not introduced itself to the stars. Humanity had turned a key. The first fleets arrived 3 days later, tearing open space beyond Neptune like reality itself was splitting apart. Human sensors could barely track them. Some vessels were sleek towers of silver light, moving in perfect formation with machine precision. Others were brutal black fortresses layered in armor, scarred by battles older than human civilization. The moment they entered the solar system, they opened fire on each other without warning. Beams brighter than suns carved through vacuum. Missiles curved like guided comets. Entire formations vanished in white flashes visible from Earth-based telescopes. Civilian satellites near the outer planets were erased as collateral damage. Lunar shipping lanes collapsed into chaos. Every nation on Earth watched the sky become a battlefield it could neither influence nor escape. Then the transmissions began. Signals flooded every frequency, translated automatically through unknown systems into human languages. One fleet accused Earth of reactivating the weapon thrown and demanded immediate surrender. The other declared humanity had chosen a side and would face extinction. Neither asked questions. Neither believed innocence was possible. Analysts tore through data recovered from the Antarctic device while governments scrambled underground. The truth emerged in fragments. Thousands of years ago, two galactic powers fought a war so destructive that whole star systems were sterilized. To end the deadlock, they created an ultimate deterrent, a superweapon so feared neither empire trusted the other to hold its key. So they hid the activation system on a primitive, unnoticed world. Earth. Long before humans built cities, this planet had been selected as neutral ground, buried under ice and forgotten by history. Over ages, both empires collapsed into myth, their fleets sleeping in hidden caches, waiting for the command that would decide who ruled the stars. Humanity had unknowingly sent it. Battles spread inward through the solar system. Mars colonies went dark. Freight stations in the asteroid belt were vaporized. Shockwaves from distant detonations painted Earth's night sky with streaks of fire. Religious leaders called it prophecy. Markets died in hours. Families crowded shelters while military commanders admitted the truth privately. Earth had no defense. No fleet. No shields. No leverage. But inside the research bunker, one scientist noticed something no one else had seen. The transmitted sequence contained irregular gaps too precise to be accidental. The command Earth sent was structured, but unfinished. Someone had removed the final layer. That meant the fleets had awakened for something neither side actually possessed. Dr. Lena Voss isolated the missing intervals inside the signal and discovered they were not damage, corruption, or lost data. They were intentional blanks placed with mathematical symmetry. The command Earth had broadcast only triggered awakening protocols. It did not grant control. No empire owned the weapon they were destroying the solar system to claim. She dug deeper into the original transmission and found another layer hidden beneath the carrier wave. What had been dismissed as background noise contained prime number clusters arranged as coordinates. They pointed not to some distant star, but to Earth's own moon. With alien fleets clashing across orbit, governments authorized one final mission. Human pilots launched an outdated transport craft refitted for speed, threading through debris fields and weapons fire no training could prepare them for. They reached the dark side of the moon and drilled into a chamber buried far below the crust. Inside waited a vault larger than cities. At its center stood no cannon, no doomsday engine, no throne of power. There were towers of crystal memory banks, suspended interfaces, and libraries encoded in languages spanning thousands of species. The feared superweapon was never a weapon at all. It was an archive. Stored within it were cures for extinct plagues, energy systems beyond scarcity, histories of civilizations erased by pride, and records of the war that birthed the lie. The ancient builders had realized no side could be trusted with absolute force. So they created the myth of a galaxy-ending weapon and hid knowledge inside its shell. Fear would keep empires chasing shadows while wisdom waited for someone mature enough to use it. Humanity had not activated destruction. Humanity had unlocked inheritance. Voss transmitted proof to every fleet in battle range. Tactical channels filled with silence as commanders viewed records from ancestors they believed legendary. Weapons ceased firing. Ships drifted. For the first time in ages, enemies faced the truth that they had inherited hatred more than history. Most stood down immediately. One did not. A warlord commanding the largest dreadnought rejected the archive as deception. If he could not rule through fear, he would rule through annihilation. He turned his flagship toward Earth, charged planet-killer batteries, and accelerated straight for the homeworld of the species everyone had underestimated. With the dreadnought accelerating toward Earth, every military calculation ended the same way. Humanity had minutes left. No planetary shield existed. No fleet could intercept in time. The alien armadas that had paused after seeing the archive hesitated, divided by centuries of mistrust. While commanders argued, the warlord locked firing solutions on Earth's major population centers. Humanity did not wait for rescue. Mining rigs from Mars broke orbit first, engines overloaded for one final burn. Lunar cargo haulers followed. Orbital construction tugs, civilian shuttles, salvage craft, fuel barges, research vessels, anything capable of thrust launched toward the incoming flagship. None were built for war. Most carried no weapons stronger than cutting lasers and industrial drills. They attacked anyway. Thousands of small human craft swarmed the dreadnought, slamming into shields, blinding sensors, jamming intake ports, burning armor seams with tools meant for stone and steel. Pilots knew the odds. Many never turned back. But each impact bought seconds, and seconds were suddenly priceless. Watching an unarmed species sacrifice itself for one world shattered the paralysis gripping the alien fleets. Silver cruisers surged first, striking the dreadnought's weapon arrays with precision volleys. Black fortress ships followed, ramming its flanks and trapping its engines in gravity nets. Former enemies moved as one formation, not because treaties were signed, but because humans had acted before anyone else found courage. Inside the lunar archive, Dr. Voss used the final system still dormant for ages, a galaxy-wide relay. Her message crossed every battlefield. Power without wisdom destroyed you once. Decide who you are now. The dreadnought's shields collapsed. Human breaching teams cut through the hull beside alien marines. The warlord was captured alive, forced to witness the alliance he believed impossible. The battle ended above Earth, but its echoes spread across the stars. Weeks later, commanders from rival empires landed openly on Earth, not as conquerors, but as guests. They asked why humans charged certain death to defend species that had threatened them hours earlier. Earth's answer became legend. Because once you endanger our home, you become our responsibility. The archive was shared freely. Borders softened. Ancient vendettas began to fade. And across the galaxy, one truth remained undeniable. The weakest species in the war had been the strongest where it mattered most.